No, 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 no.
Stay savage, your boy Shinobi in trouble. What's poppin'? Today we are back, and guess what? We got Boruto episode 69 review. Yes, the 69th review is finally here, which means this is the end of the Chocho arc. I know a lot of people are probably like, oh my god, like I ain't gonna lie, I'm just kind of screaming right now, like you don't understand. I'm super ecstatic that this is finally over. Now I will say today's episode was a lot better than previous episodes regarding the Chocho arc. I know a lot of people were getting upset and they were talking about, hey, you shouldn't have your expectations super high for this. But at the same time, when you see character development, that is probably one of the major reasons why I fell in love with Naruto as a franchise, was because of the character development and how they execute everything and how everything plays out. And the reason why I was so upset, because I felt like it was executed poorly. Now, mind you, things do seem to change up a bit in this episode. We do have a better style of, execution in terms of the development. It actually went from a more negative side to a slightly neutral side for me, and almost a positive, because we actually saw a good bit of development from the girl Chocho, as well as we saw some development from Mitsuki at the end of the episode. And it's honestly like she played off of his fundamentals. They played off each other's strengths in terms of their development. Now what I mean by that is I'm gonna jump around first. Basically, in the beginning of this arc, we saw Mitsuki ask his dad or his mom, aka Orochimaru, are you my father or are you my mother? Essentially asking, hey, who is this character? What are you to me? What's going on? I need some insight, because I don't know if you're a man or a woman, and you're confusing me. And then we see Chocho, who is somebody who's introduced as a person that doesn't have any issues with her confidence. She believes being thick is the wave. Obviously we like thick girls around here. Thick girls are winning. Let's keep it a buck. And she's out here, being happy about her weight, happy about herself, and then she shows us signs of being insecure. She actually confirms this episode that she's insecure about her size. She tells Sarada that in the corner of her mind there's this little person that thinks that maybe I have to be petite, or maybe I have to be a small package. But then there's other sides of her where she feels like she's perfect, and that shows her weakness. That shows that she's not always confident all the time. Now the reason why I'm saying this is, at the end of this episode, we saw Tomura, obviously walk up to her and actually see how he was wrong, and talk about, thick girls, they actually deserve love too. Well, let's say what they said. They said fat girls deserve love too. You know what I'm saying? And Chocho realized, at that moment, it doesn't matter what you look like. It's more about what's on the inside. And I think Tomura understood that as well. Then we see her kind of give the potato chips to the boy Mitsuki, which I tweeted about. A lot of people didn't understand that symbolicness. And she was like, my policy is to give potato chips to people I like. So Tomura probably thought he was getting those chips, and as she walked off, she gave them to Mitsuki, and Mitsuki was like, yo, something's going on with her mental, she's getting even crazier, because he noticed that she was basically implying that she liked Mitsuki after always giving him such a hard time, not to mention calling him a half a human, or a disgrace of a man, that type of shit, you know what I'm saying? And then it goes to show Mitsuki is just like her in his own way. He's not exactly human, so that might be his insecurity that he has. And then we see him come back later on talking to Orochimaru asking him why is he eating chips or whatever. And then Orochimaru's about to re-add to his question, are you my mother, are you my father? And Mitsuki says it doesn't even matter, because Chocho taught Mitsuki it doesn't matter what you are on the outside, it only matters what you are on the inside. And that's what I loved about today's episode. It actually showed that boundary being torn down, that it doesn't matter if you're fat, it doesn't matter if you're skinny, it doesn't matter if you're short, it doesn't matter if you're tall, it doesn't matter if you're black, white, gay, straight, trans. It doesn't matter. As long as you're a good person on the inside, that's all that matters. And we saw Mitsuki actually tell her about that with the metaphor regarding the chips. He's like, it doesn't matter what flavor the chip is. If the chip is rotten, all the chips are bad. It doesn't matter if it tastes good or not. And that's something we saw Chocho talk about. Chocho said, I don't like this flavor of chip, but I always taste it because I always want to give it a try. I always want to give everything a simple chance, regardless if I like it, maybe it's gonna be good, maybe I can try it and maybe I'll like it for myself. And Mitsuki added to that, basically saying, with this symbolicness of the chip, he was like, are you gonna be a pure potato chip, or are you gonna be a rotten chip? Because if the chip's rotten, you're not even gonna give it a chance to try it, versus if it's good, it's pure, you're gonna just eat it, regardless of the flavor. And that's something we seen Chocho do. And I was just like, whoa, whoa, like I know a lot of people are probably like, damn, Shino, you took all that from that, but like, you know, obviously I was sitting there, you know, dissecting this, and I was like wondering how this would actually play out. You know, outside of that, episode was pretty. It wasn't like as bad as the first. Well, second. I'll say the second. The first episode wasn't that bad. The second episode was really annoying because, you know, we had Tomura who kept trying to shoot his shot at you know, skinny Chocho, and then he finds out that she was thick Chocho, and he still tried to shoot the shot, and you know, Chocho curved his ass because she realized, you know, you're not a good person. You know, you might look good on the outside, but you didn't show me that from the beginning. It took for me to save you, you know, for me to actually show you that I'm actually useful and I'm a good person, for you to actually wanna, you know, be a part of my life. Now, as far as Ashina goes, you know, I had a feeling something was up with her. Initially, I thought it would be Tomura, you know, just trying to get Ashina off the set. That's probably why he told Chocho all those mean things and shit like that. And that's probably why he was talking about teasing her and stuff like that. But then when I seen, you know, Ashina's mood constantly flip-flop during the moments when the directors would take, you know, Tomura's side, you know, that was one of those indications like, all right, she had something to do with this. And then we had obviously the culprit try to come in there, and he snatched up Tomura. He basically, like, you know, came here and like, yo, come here, bro, let me take your life, and he just kind of kidnapped him. Then it turned from like this ransom factor to, I mean, not this ransom, to this death threat, to this ransom factor. And even Shikadai, as well as Boruto, pointed out, like, Shikadai was like, yo, if this was a death threat, all it would do was buff up security. And then it's like, yeah, so why would he go from a death threat to like ransom? Because all that would do was make security increase. So this is showing Shikadai's and fucking Boruto's expertise. You know, we got Konohamaru out here doing the double gang switch. He's out here transformation jutsuing it up. Honestly, I don't even think that was transformation jutsu. My man just had on a fake skin. Like, he didn't even like turn back normal, like, you know what I'm saying? He had on a whole like get up, you know. This man had on a whole disguise. Like, why you got on a mask, bro, when you could just sit there and do transformation jutsu? That's one thing I was asking myself. I don't know if any of you guys question that, but I definitely was thinking to myself like, yo, what are you doing, bro? Don't you got this whole like transformation jutsu in the bag? Like, why are you doing that? Then it started to make sense why Ashina was kind of doing it, because it showed how, like, you know, she felt like this guy was just treated all this way because he was handsome and stuff like that, and that was like the whole reasoning behind him getting his way. And it's kind of messed up because that actually does take place in, like, you know, the real world in terms of like sets. If you hear about like different stories regarding Hollywood and stuff like that, you hear about different actors getting their way because of their looks, and some people getting actual like pay raises or having more money being made because they are male, which isn't fair. So I completely like sympathize with Ashina. I think that is kind of fucked up because, you know, when everybody's trying to push the ideal of gender equality, you know, this is like something that's continually to happen in reality. And that's probably why Ashina actually, you know, went ahead and went through with the like working with the rogue ninja and stuff like that, because she wanted to teach him a lesson. And she was kind of upset that, you know, he was always pushing her out of the limelight due to the fact that he was a man, and not to mention, you know, he was very handsome, and all he would do is bat his eyes and he would kind of get his way. And that's something we do see happen in reality. It's kind of fucked up because, like, you know, obviously her intentions were like the right thing, but it was like the way she did it was wrong, because you cannot kidnap nobody to get your point across. You have to make your voice vocally heard. Like, she had a fan base. She could have easily told her fan base, look, this is why the production is going this way, this is why I'm leaving it. It's due to the fact that Tomura, he always gets his way. He always like writing me off, writing what I say off. You know, he's just kind of bashing my ideas. He's just throwing it away, and the directors just completely 100% agree with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because of like he's a guy, or just because he's handsome or something like that. You know, she could have actually used her platform to promote this awareness instead of actually, like, you know what I'm saying, kidnapping. Now, obviously, they kidnapped for the plot of the story, which is great. And obviously, you know, we got to see Chocho get over her fear of being a chubby girl and not being wanted by somebody. And I think this actually played a really decent part for Mitsuki as well, because, like, I don't know, I'm not really a big person that ships characters from the anime a lot. Like, I talk about them, it's more so because they're always hinted at. You know, like Sumire, you know, she said she liked Boruto. Like, that's hinted at. You know, we have Sarada who blushes up at Boruto and she turns red, and then she does something obnoxious once Boruto gets her flustered or some shit like that. Even Mitsuki said, you know, they will make a cute couple. Like, it's implied, you know, you see them. But like, I think what's going to happen for Mitsuki and Chocho, which a lot of people may or may not agree with, and mind you, this is my own opinion plus a little bit of speculation, it's the fact that, you know, by Chocho being a thick girl, you know, she felt like she wasn't gonna be accepted because she was plus size, and then she realized it doesn't matter what's on the inside, and then she realized to accept herself and love herself no matter what. Obviously she may still have her doubts. And then Mitsuki is somebody who is synthetically created. He isn't somebody who is just like a regular human. He's genetically engineered. So like for her and him to match would be kind of ideal, because you know he's kind of like different from everybody else. He's a bit of an outcast, and you know he doesn't really know anything about like emotions and stuff like that. He doesn't really know if a person would like him if they found out he wasn't made the original way. And then Chocho, you know, she's a thick girl, so like she didn't think people would like her because she was fat. So it was like, you know, she will accept him for his flaws of not actually being a normal human, and he would accept her flaws as being like thick or like fat, however you want to say it. And that's kind of like what I saw from that, and that's what I saw in that. Now obviously, you know, a lot of people are gonna say, well, her giving them potato chips was more like a friendship thing, and I could completely agree with that. But just for the future standing point, if these two were to become a ship, or these two would actually become like a couple towards the end of Boruto, I would understand why. It'll make sense, because you know they both have their own little issues and vendettas that have like these conflict of interest that go in different ways. But at the end of the day, they kind of relate more than you think, because most people like just look at it like, oh, she's thick, you know, like people won't like her because she's thick, and people won't like Mitsuki because he's not a human. Once Mitsuki start to tell people like what he actually is, people gonna look at him like, what the heck? Like what's understood, like what people don't understand, they tend to like push away. Like when people fear something, they tend to get rid of it. So like they would fear Mitsuki and like push him away due to the fact that they wouldn't understand how he was made, or like how is he actually like a synthetic human, you know what I'm saying? So it's like she wouldn't judge him and he wouldn't judge her due to the fact that they come from like similar backgrounds, you know, by her being thick and him being like genetically engineered. Now these are my personal thoughts, personal opinions. If you have your own personal thoughts and personal opinions, make sure you hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe for daily content. And with that being said, my name is Shinobi. Stay true and stay real, and until next time, see you guys later. Bye.